I wanted to ask you before we talk about Inde about Tim Burton's comments.
What did he say?
He said, I'm going to read it so I don't get it wrong, about, he has this new film out, Mrs. Peregrine, I don't know, based on the...
Peculiar Children.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. And he said, nowadays, people are talking about it more, RE diversity. Things either call for things or they don't. I remember back when I was a child watching the Brady Bunch, and they started getting all politically correct. Like, okay, let's have an Asian child and a black. I used to get more offended by that than just, I grew up watching blaxploitation movies, right? And I said, that's great. I didn't go, there should be more white people in these movies. So basically what he's saying, and obviously Tim Burton cast the same 3 people in all of his movies, so it's not like, he doesn't even diversify his white cast. But I think that's really a really interesting and kind of potentially damaging and difficult statement to make with that kind of power in Hollywood.
Well, the more people talk, the more, I'm glad he said it, because it's an interesting thing to talk about. For example, one of the things that's so fun about doing New York theater is that they're really a leader in colorblind casting.
Colorblind. See, if we're talking about language, right, let's not talk about colorblind.
All right,
because colorblind means you don't see the race that people identify as.
Right. Okay, that's what it means to you in that way. But what it means to me is directors are casting the parts regardless of the color of their skin. And
okay,
they're doing it on the quality of their character. Right? And so the directors and the people hiring people are saying, well, just because Hamlet's white, his girlfriend has to be white, and his mom has to be white.
Absolutely.
And I find there's something really exciting about watching a play where people are making me see beyond that.
Absolutely.
And so I find that exciting. And so I find, I love it when, I would love to see a Sam Shepard play where about 2 brothers done by 2 sisters. Mm-hmm. Do you know? Mm-hmm. I would love to see it done by 2 guys from Guadalajara. I'd love to see it done by 2 African Americans. I'd like to see. But
that's not colorblind. That's actually being like racially conversant or racially conscious.
Okay, then that's the word I wish I used.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And so his comments. Denzel said a great thing the other day, I thought, which is that a lot of times the thing that makes diversity so hard is that people want to cast their friends. Right? Is they want to go out with people that look like their mom, and they want to cast their friends. Do you know? And our little don't put words in my mouth, his mouth. But no, I mean it. You know what I mean? That's what we're drawn to, the familiar.
Sure.
Here's an example for you. Oftentimes, children of an alcoholic, right? They will marry an alcoholic. Because just the familiar itself feels like love, right? So if even something damaging, let's take something damaging that's completely out of it, it's just a friendship. People want to hire their friends they feel comfortable with, and that puts us all in these little pockets. And Tim Burton is clearly in a little pocket. He casts his friends over and over again, and he does his things, and they do brilliant work together, but they're not leaders in diversity, right? Clearly.
But still, I totally recognize that and understand that. But I think to say, like, either it warrants it or doesn't, that's a huge statement. It's like, when is it not important to have representation of a racially, ethnically, culturally diverse cast or setting or conversation?
Well, when a piece of art, movie, literature, anything has any real wisdom to it, it has a wider view. The genius of Anton Chekhov writing in Russia that is he was seeing all the cultures, and he was stepping back. You couldn't tell whether, if you just found that play in the garbage, Three Sisters or something like that, or Cherry Orchard or whatever, you wouldn't know if it was written by a man or a woman. The female characters are just as in-depth as the male. And then, wow, the serf culture is written just as fully as the aristocrat culture. And that's why those plays last, because they have real wisdom to them.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And whenever you get so when you don't have any perspective of the larger community, your art is diminished. You know? And so I wouldn't say that he should make it diversified to be a nice person or something. He should do it to be a better artist.